Hello and welcome to Pushing Back, Ukraine Daily Brief. As the war enters its 855th day, these are the main developments from the past 24 hours. The update from the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. Russia has lost approximately 540,490 troops in Ukraine since the beginning of the war. The number, which has not been independently verified, includes 1,170 casualties over the past day. According to the released Ukrainian figures, Russia lost 24 tanks, 21 armored combat vehicles, 60 artillery systems, 1 multiple launch rocket system, 3 air defense systems, 50 drones, 1 military jet, 5 cruise missiles, 46 vehicles, and 11 pieces of special equipment. Finland announced the 24th defense aid package for Ukraine, valued at €159 million. The Russians launched 119 combat clashes and carried out 43 airstrikes, including 56 anti-aircraft missiles on the territory of Ukraine. They also used 458 kamikaze drones and carried out 2,863 attacks on the positions of Ukrainian troops and settlements using various types of weapons. In its latest intelligence update, the UK's Ministry of Defence reports Russia has been relying on drones to attack targets in Ukraine since they can't achieve air superiority with jets. Ukraine recently destroyed a Russian base with 120 drones, which will disrupt Russia's drone attacks in the short term. Russia will likely move their drones to other bases and Ukraine will likely keep trying to destroy them. In its latest intelligence update, the Institute for the Study of War. Russian forces have sustained the tempo of their offensive operations in the Toretsk direction since activating in the area on June 18 and likely aim to reduce a Ukrainian salient in the area, but there is little current likelihood of rapid Russian gains near Toretsk. Russian forces have committed only limited forces to this operation so far, which suggests that Russian forces continue to prioritize gradual advances through consistent grinding assaults over operationally significant gains through rapid maneuver. Slow grinding Russian offensive operations in the Toretsk direction are in line with Russian President Vladimir Putin's articulated theory of victory that posits that Russian forces will be able to continue gradual creeping advances indefinitely, prevent Ukraine from conducting successful operationally significant counteroffensive operations, and win a war of attrition against Ukrainian forces. Ukraine signed long-term security agreements with the European Union, Lithuania, and Estonia on June 27. Russian officials and information space actors continue to frame migrants as a threat to Russian society amid ongoing efforts to utilize migrant communities to address Russia's force generation needs. The Kremlin may be using indirect means to bypass Russian law and codify a state ideology that emphasizes Russia's traditional social values while attempting to increase Russia's birth rate. There is currently no evidence supporting recent reports that North Korea may be sending engineering forces to rear areas of occupied Ukraine, and ISW has been unable to locate the North Korean confirmation that some Western amplifications allege has been made. Russian President Vladimir Putin held a meeting on the long-term future of the Russian Navy and Russian shipbuilding on June 26 and noted that the Russian Ministry of Defense plans to introduce more than 40 new ships and vessels to the Russian Navy in 2024. Russian forces recently marginally advanced near Siversk, Avdiivka, and Donetsk City. During his visit to Brussels to participate in a meeting of the European Council, Zelensky gave multiple speeches. Firstly, Zelensky spoke about the critical need to uphold international law and the UN Charter to achieve global peace. He highlighted the current moment as pivotal between restoring legal order or descending into lawlessness and violence. And he warned of war's potential to spread chaos worldwide, evidenced by the impacts of the Russian invasion of Ukraine, including food price hikes and nuclear threats. Secondly, Zelensky met with European Council President Charles Michel, thanking the EU for starting Ukraine's accession negotiations and noting the approval of new sanctions against Russia and Belarus. Michel assured continued EU support, including increased military and financial aid, emphasizing the shared commitment to protect common values and Ukraine's future. Thirdly, Zelensky met with European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen to discuss Ukraine's EU accession negotiations and the importance of increasing sanctions on Russia. Zelensky also thanked von der Leyen for her support in the first peace summit and efforts to involve countries from the global south. Lastly, Zelensky met with NATO Secretary-General Jens Stoltenberg at NATO headquarters, thanking him for rallying allies to bolster Ukraine's air defenses. They discussed preparations for the upcoming NATO summit in Washington and emphasized the need for critical defense tools and long-term support for Ukraine. Thanks for following today's updates. Please don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. We'll return tomorrow with the latest news on the ongoing conflict.